Hey, how you doing, Whisky fans? Kill Drummer here again, and welcome along to another little episode of Whisky in the Woods. You'll have to excuse me a little bit from rubbing my hands here. It's a lovely Scottish spring, so there's actually a bit of snow falling down at the moment. Don't know if you can quite see that. So it's not exactly the warmest at the moment. So, out in the woods today, and thought I'd have a little chat to you again about a wee whisky. And today it's another Highland whisky. Technically it's an island, but as we know with the old 5 regions of Scottish whisky, it's a Highland. I'm going to have a wee look at Jura. Now, Jura as a whisky producing island has been putting out since originally 1810, but then over the years they've closed, opened, etc. And today they are now owned by the Emperador Distilling Group, which is a Philippines owned company. They also own the White Mackay brand. For those of you that don't know Jura is an island off the west coast of Scotland. It's a stone's throw from its sort of more famous whisky producing cousin island of Islay. It's just a short ferry journey across from one to the other. I don't particularly engage with Jura whiskies. It's not something that's always sort of attracted me, or when I've had a dram I've not always said, oh, I'll go and have another Jura. My late father, he was a fan of Jura, and that actually led on to my mother really enjoying a Jura, and that's what I brought along today. It is a bottle of Jura Journey that actually my mum gave me at Christmas. I think her idea was, if she knows I've got a bottle of Jura in the house when she comes to stay, there's always going to be a dram that she likes. Jura Journey, for the want of a different term, we're going to call it the Jura's entry level whisky. Unlike most entry level whiskies, it's put out at that bare minimum of 40% ABV. It is, as a non-aged statement whisky, we know it's going to be at least 3 years old, and that maturation period, as it says on the front of the bottle there, has been matured in American white oak ex-bourbon casks. The bourbon casks, what sort of fill they've had before, you know, virgin, first fill, second fill, refill, whatever, we don't know. We just know that it's American white oak ex-bourbon casks, and it's going to have been there for a minimum of 3 years. Jura, I think we're all pretty much full of knowledge that Jura's kind of got a bit of colour added to it, and particularly for such a young whisky, and the colour it is there, yeah, there's colour in there. And at 40%, again, we're going to kind of almost guarantee that that has been chill filtered. So if we looked at the old ABCD for the purists on the whisky out there, I think it fails on everything. You know, age, B, alcohol by volume, the old chill filtering, and the dye, the colour. Yeah, it's kind of knocked all of them to the wayside. Does it make it a bad whisky? Well, like we've always said, there's no bad whiskies. There's just some whiskies you enjoy, some whiskies you don't. So how does this one actually taste? Is it a good whisky? Do I like to taste it? As I said, I never really engaged with Jura. I had little sips here and there, sort of in my 20s, you know, my dad would pour a dram or whatever, but it just never really got to me, never took to me. Now I think in about 2018, Jura revamped their range of whiskies, changed all the names, etc. And then this is what came out as their entry-level dram, as we said, Jura Journey. poured a wee dram of this the other night. I've got a couple of bottles of it now, and I'll tell you why in a second. So poured a wee dram of it the other night. And on the nose, there's actually there's a honeyness to it. There's a sweetness, almost a vanilla-like, or a candy, maybe a Werther's Original sort of that hard, sooky candy type thing. And yeah, it actually wasn't offensive. In fact, yeah, it was really quite inviting to start off with. And also on the nose, you can get that sort of smoky influence. I'm not going to say there's a peatness to it, but there's definitely a smoky influence to it. And then when you take a sip, I think it quite follows through from the nose. Again, there's that honey, that sweetness, and there's definitely a smoke there. It's not a big peaty slap in the face smoke, it's just a smoke. And there's a pepper, like a spicy, sort of almost peppery bite to it, particularly so on the finish. The finish isn't an overly long finish. It's probably not even medium. It's probably shortness edging towards medium. And yeah, it starts off sweet, and then the end of the finish, there's a wee bit of a peppery bite into it. And as I said to you, I actually went out and got another bottle of it. I wanted to keep one sort of sealed, just to stick it on the shelf. It's quite good for doing your wee displays and things like that when you're filming indoors. And bought a second bottle, and I've actually been sort of sipping at it and enjoying it. So yeah, although I never really engaged, I've got a bottle. It's a bottle I will drink. Probably won't run off and get another one very quickly after that one, but whilst I've got it, I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not saying Jura's for everyone, and for a long time it wasn't for me, but I'll enjoy it while I've got it. Have a wee taste, guys. Cheers. Slange.